restricted funds.
Got it. And we wouldn't necessarily have to distribute any this year, but we've decided to do so.
Correct.
Okay, so the fact that the restricted funds doesn't require us to distribute them in any particular year.
Correct.
Okay, that's just something that I was thinking about. The other folks watching or following us might not understand that part of the process. Okay, so you've got the mayor's in yet? I can't see it on the screen.
I don't think we have them. Did we want to get them added? I'm more than happy to get them in there.
Let's get them in there before we get too far, and then we'll go through one applicant at a time, see if anybody has comments, and then
Okay.
we'll talk about the money.
Okay.
That's okay with everybody.
Mayor Akins, did you want to provide those to me and I can get them in really quick? Because I don't know if I got an email back from you.
Okay, I did try. I don't know, something's getting lost in translation because I think you also didn't receive my initial dates back either and then got those later. So I'm not sure what's happening there, but it's no big deal. We'll go through. I did want to ask regarding the late applications. Can we at least know what those were? Just in case they are like in some way more specific to the tourism grants, because I'm not 100% sure. I'm a big fan of the KBO, the Klamath Bird Observatory, but I'm not sure about the tourism angle there. So anyway, it'd be just interesting to see that. So that said, I'm looking at what others have recommended, and I tend to, no offense to you, Jim, but I tend to line up a little more closely with Councillor Hyatt, especially as it pertains to the Science Works. They've lost a lot of allocations recently, and they're one of our few places where we have children's activities in our community. So I do think they're a really important contributor. So I would agree that I actually would like to see them receive 22,000 as well.
Okay, why don't we, since there's just a few, Julie, why don't you just give us your allocations and she can just key them in. And you can comment on them as you go.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Oh, okay.
Gone ahead and put 22,000 in for Science Works.
You don't want to hear my justifications. That's fine. Yeah, you don't have to hear my justifications if you don't prefer.
No, I think it's good for you to give us your justifications if that's so. No, I'm chairing. I think that's good.
Okay, thank you, Jim. So 22,000 for Science Works. Ashland Bed and Breakfast. I see. Let's see here. I would say I'm bad at doing math in my head, so I apologize. I'm just trying to find my notes while I do this. I was thinking Ashland Bed and Breakfast at 10,000. And the reason for that is, as we know, they've had a really, really tough year, and without the little bed and breakfasts, Ashland isn't quite the same as a tourism destination. Let's see, Mount Ashland. Let's see, I would also agree that I would put Mount Ashland at 15, actually. I think you've got it. I think you have to go down a cell there. Am I frozen?
Yeah, I thought I had gotten it in.
Yes.
Okay, do you have it? Okay, thank you very much. I froze briefly. I appreciate that. Okay, 22, 32, and 15. Help me out if I go over, let me know. Thank you. Thanks for that. Okay, and then we've got, let's see, sorry, I'm taking all the air in the room here. Ashland New Plays, can we also put them at 10?
That's more than they requested, I think.
Is it more than they want?
Mhm.
Yeah, they asked for 8410.
They asked for, okay, give them that allocation then, my bad. Not that we're gonna do what I'm saying, that sounded very heavy-handed. I apologize for that sound, the way that sounded. Didn't mean it like that. Let's see. I'm trying to follow along here at home with a very small screen. I wish I could make it bigger.
Like
Oops, that's too big.
there's $24,500.
There we go.
Okay.
Left. Okay. Sorry, I don't know why I can't find my damn notes on this. All right, let's go. The next one in line, let's do 15 on that. Okay, I'm at 70, and then we have 2 more allocations left, right? So 5 on the next. And
45.90.
the final. Thank you, sir. Okay, there we go. Appreciate your patience.
And then I will go ahead and average them out. Just give me 1 second here. Get it. There we are. There's everything averaged out.
Okay, Julie, did you want to give any more justifications, or shall we turn that over to Paula now?
Yeah, let's turn it over to Paula. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Kim.
Paula, why don't you tell us what you think about all this?
Sure thing. I'm going to pause a quick second just because I want to fully disclose that I have worked with the Ashland Fiber Art Collective, and I do believe they are a member of the Gallery Association. So there is a tangential connection there. I'm not 100% on how that works, but I just want to make sure that that is out and public.
Well, my understanding is that it will eventually boil down to whether you personally have any financial,
I do not.
financial gains.
I have no financial interest in any of the groups.
Okay, that's good part of the disclosure. Okay.
Thank you for that, Jim. Okay, so I am going to start with Ashland New Place Festival. My allocation, understanding that the minimum we can allocate is $5,000. I allocated 5,000 to the New Place. They're trying that hybrid where some can view in person, some can view online. Understanding some of the challenges our performance organizations are facing right now, I still feel the importance of supporting these organizations, especially one with the mission of Ashland New Place Festival. So 5,000 was the designation there. Ashland Bed and Breakfast, clearly any kind of marketing done through B&B networks right now is vital. Heads and beds are one of our biggest goals. And that's why I placed my allocation at 8,000. Ashland Gallery Association, their publication book and their web presence came into a total. They had a larger request, but the publication book was at 15. Their website needs were at 2,000. They had other needs included in their request, but understanding again that the goal here is to bring people to town. I felt that their marketing options via web and the book were vital, and that justified my allocation of 17. Mount Ashland Association, I put it 13. I would be fine with fully funding this one because it is off season. It is ecotourism. It was huge to our community this last year. And clearly Mount Ashland is a big partner for us and important to year-round tourism. I would echo the sentiments on ScienceWorks. They have continuously been a draw in our southern part of the valley in general, not just to Ashland. And when so many folks come, that we are often looking for something to do with the littles, and their programming is just top notch. And I would like to see that relationship continue. Also understanding that they have had to close their doors for such a long period of time. But I must give them a shout out. I know that they did a little work within the schools as well via Zoom and the like, and they put on some excellent things for the kids. Art Now, this is a really fun program, and The thing about this that I like is they have an event calendar that has something every month. And some folks might be familiar with the Harry Potter birthday celebration that they often put on. And it's so fun to be downtown and see kiddos dressed up like their favorite Harry Potter character. So it really taps in the imagination, and it also drives traffic to different parts of the town with their maps and their gnome hunts and the like, and the creativity and the draw is just very fun, very whimsical, very family oriented. So I allocated the 5,000 is the minimum, the 5,000 was the request, so match the request. And then finally with Klamath Bird Observatory, I know we've partnered with them many times in the past. They are an ecotourism group. They're also an educational group about environmental aspects too. So with that in mind, I rounded out my allocation there at 10,000. Clearly, all of these organizations do excellent work. All are worthy, and I am open to amending my initial because frankly, it was very hard to do in light of the circumstances we're in and in light of the good work that each of these groups does. So that's my rationale.
Okay. Julie, do you want to add any of yours before I go through mine?
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with a lot of what Counselor Hyatt had to say there. I think, New Plays is offering us some options around theater that, as a theater town, I think it's important to support them, and they do some unique things that seem certainly worthy of the allocation they've requested. We talked about the bed and breakfast. These guys have been hurting. If we had more to give them, for instance, if you said, well, I actually want to give less to the Gallery Association and more to Ashland B&B, I would see that justification. Gallery Association fits with the whole arts theme, and I think they do a good job of marketing and getting out there, as does Ashland Bed and Breakfast. So they're both good in that way. I agree with Counselor Hyatt on the ecotourism angle with Mount Ashland Association. We do want to start having things go year round up on our mountain, just because we know that we're in a climate crisis and that we don't know what snowpack is going to look like, but we know that that place is beautiful year round. I often hike up there in the summertime, and it's spectacular. And I'd like everybody to have that same access and understanding. So I'm in favor of offering that. Science Works, great program for kids, have been really struck hard, and I don't want them to go out of business because they're one of the few places that does really cater to young people. Art Now, again, creative and interesting, and another part of our arts community that I support. Klamath Bird Observatory too, I could see justification for giving them more if we had it, because they are a great organization. I know them more through my work in environmental observation. I know more for their science than I do for their tourism. So that's why I was a little unsure of the ecotourism angle. But, I do support them as an organization. So that's how I came down.
Okay, well, let me, I'm going to start in by saying that I agree with everybody, and our real problem here is the, setting priorities and allocating. I'm a science teacher, so you don't have to talk me into Science Works. So I think I am being talked. I remember the presentation from the bird sanctuary last time, and they made a pretty good pitch for tourism, but I think it's not as direct as some of the others. So I'm willing to give there. So I would say, you ready, Natalie? Okay, I would say that I would take, for starters, let's match my partners here on the committee, my colleagues, and let's put 4,500 into my original 17,500 for Science Works. That'll bring us up all to 22.
Okay, so for Science Works, you said 17,500. Like so?
Well, I think that will bring us up to 22, and we'll just all be in the same.
Put in 22,000.
22. Oh,
Yeah, I need 22 here. Oh, you're not seeing my arrow, are you? Yeah, I need 22 for Science Works.
perfect.
You don't need to change mine. I can't remember how the spreadsheet works.
We can just go through and
Oh, okay. You don't
talk
need to
about
change mine. It's just, for me, it's just a matter, like Julie, I'm not going to be able to do the mental math on this, so I just want.
and the totals are running right there.
Okay.
So, yeah, we can kind of.
Then I would reduce the bird sanctuary to, I'm going to say 7,500. Cut it in half. I think I love Mount Ashland. I think the leadership is tremendous. They're doing a fabulous job with what was off season for them. They now are a 12-month organization. So I'm going to put that up to 15. Keeping Art Now. I'm retired again because of COVID, but 5 years of subbing in the Ashland School District. I'm a big fan. As a science guy, I'm a big fan of art. Just our youngsters who turn into that, and it's their window to the world. And I think this is 5,000 could be higher, but we're going to give them what they asked for. Okay. That leaves me with the top two. And I was persuaded by the argument about the bed and breakfast folks being in trouble. Let's go to 9. Oh, I have 3 more. So the other one was gallery and then New Plays. I think New Plays is another stellar organization, and they showed a great deal of creativity going to the online format this year. And I'm eagerly awaiting them getting us back into the theaters. As we open, but let's see how much more. If I go, yeah, it'll take me up to 9 there as well. And then the balance for the Gallery Association, which is still a pretty substantial amount. Okay, so there you go. I'm not out of sync with anybody in terms of where the biggest bang for the buck is. It was good listening to my colleagues first to give me some thinking room, and I think I'm happy now with the overall. I don't know about my other 2 members here who might want to chime in at this point. And I can't see anybody, so we'll go back and start with Paula. Paula, how are you liking this now?
I'm thinking that all of these organizations are deserving, and I feel like the way we've averaged through the 3 of us is working well. My only feedback would be that the New Plays is currently allocated in excess of request, and I'm not sure if that meets any challenges with regard to.
You know what? That was a mistake on my part. So let's reduce that one, Natalie, and put any excess in with the, I'm going to say the bed and breakfast group. Thank you for noticing that, Paula. Voila.
Oh, I think I did.
And
that.
with that, I would just say it blends the 3 of us well, and we're just fortunate to have so many nonprofit organizations that do such excellent work. It makes this really challenging.
Quite the palette. If we'd had the other 3 or even more, it would have been more challenging. Or the old days when we spread it over 4 different categories, that made it very interesting in a challenging way. Okay, Americans.
Yeah, I think I would agree with Councillor Hyatt. I think we've kind of found a good middle ground here. It looks like we're helping folks who need it the most and who come forward in a good way. And I think these allocations are going to be fine. I'm not terribly worried about Klamath Bird Observatory. I know them to be a very gutsy little organization who gets a fair amount of funding through science projects. So I don't think we have to worry about them going away. Where Art Now, I think it's good that we gave them that allocation, because I think, that's always a bit precarious for them. So I'm glad to see them have that. Mount Ashland also has other source of funding, but boy, we super want to support them in their tourism. So I think we've done a good job here. Bed and breakfast really suffering, and I'm glad to be able to help them out. The only question I have is, and I could just be off filter here, but the Ashland Gallery Association, that does seem like a kind of a big allocation. But I'm assuming that's because I gave them a lot too. I'm assuming it's because they do a lot of outreach that brings other folks to town. Is that why we all feel so strongly about it?
They bring people from outside Ashland, day trippers from the valley.
Okay.
Particularly in the old days when we had our first Fridays. So they do cause a lot of foot traffic.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's what I'd given them a good allocation as well. I was just looking at that and going, I wonder if it would be a better use of money to give a little bit extra to the bed and breakfast folks. Because they definitely, I mean, we've lost a bunch of them, as you know, and a bunch of them actually helped out after the fire and took people in. And
I hear you, Councillor Hyatt. I'll go to the more formal here. What do you think about that?
Well, looking at the numbers, 410 would bring them up to their total allocation. And if you took from the 500 in the Gallery Association, you could make it even.
Works for me.
Oops.
1 second, sorry.
No worries.
Here.
Out wrong direction.
12090.
1, 2, 0. There we go. I will get there.
I can't see if I'm here. Okay, I am. It logged me out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're just working on the total allocation now. We're not looking at our own. So
Okay, thanks.
balance in the composite. Okay, I'm happy with this. If everybody's happy, do I hear a motion to approve?
Just to close the loop, Mayor Akins, we pulled 10 from the Gallery Association total, moved it up to Ashland Bed and Breakfast, which brought them to their total ask of 10K. With that in mind, everything
Okay.
balances out
Thank
to
you.
80,000. I move approval of the allocations as reflected in the worksheet.
I second.
Any objections? Anybody want to speak again? I'll do this right.
I am satisfied. Again, as I said, always a challenge, excellent organizations, and very thankful for their contributions to our city.
Okay, I'm quite happy. So, unless Julie, you want to pipe in one more time, we'll go to the vote.
No, I'm good with it. I think this has been thank you, Jim. This has been a well-run meeting, and I'm glad we found common ground. Thank you very much.
Well,
Feel good about it.
that's what the help of my vice chair catching my errors. Good training for me. So I'm going to go the route of asking for objections. Any objections? Hearing none, we have approved the motion through unanimous consent. So any other comments about process or whatever you want to talk about for the good of the group?
Just a thank you to Natalie for coordinating, setting all the meetings and the sheet, sending out all the background, all the fun stuff that takes a lot of time. Thank you for that, Natalie.
Ditto.
Me too.
Okay, anybody, any objections to adjourning at this point?
No objections.
Okay.
None here. Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
I'll offer the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Direction, the second on that one. And any objections? Another unanimous consent asked for. Excellent. Motion is passed by unanimous consent. We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you guys very much.
Thanks. Bye.
Have a great
Talk to you
day.
soon.
You know what? Small committees are wonderful.
Very
All right.
efficient.
Have a great day, everyone.
You as
Take
well.
care.
Thank you.
You bet.